Here's the Rap Radar Podcast. My name is B-Dot.
Elliot Wilson.
You ready for some country shit, Elliot?
I'm here, man. You got the shirt on, though.
It's vintage.
Big K.R.I.T, baby.
Yes, sir.
K.R.I.T here.
He's back again, man.
He's stepping off the production tip. He's sharing it with some friends, but the verse is still there, the lyrics is still there. The country boy got it. Still got it, baby.
Still sharp.
Yeah, man. We got Big K.R.I.T coming up on that Rap Radar Podcast.
Can't wait.
That was then, this is now, this for sure, let them know.
K.R.I.T is here, man.
What's
K.R.I.T
happening?
is here.
Country Cuz in the building is going
From the
down.
flatlands of Mississippi.
Yes, sir.
I heard that album, man.
You act like you know him or something, Elliot.
Yeah, I'm saying.
I'm saying. But I feel like, it's a real statement, like, to say K.R.I.T is here.
Yes, sir.
Like, why was it important to make that statement, and what does it really mean for people that were like, K.R.I.T was here was your big breakthrough, right? For that everybody started listening to you. Now to come back, 9 years later and say K.R.I.T is here?
Exactly. The crazy thing is, so next year, the 10-year anniversary of K.R.I.T was here. So rolling into that, I feel like the confidence I have, what I've been through in my career, ups and downs of being an independent artist, then being signed, then you seeing what's happening with streaming, and then being that artist where I'm bitter and I might feel like people aren't listening to me, and then my music turns aggressive sometimes, and then finding that space where Forever's a Mighty Long Time comes out, and I'm like, man, I'm just gonna be myself. I'm independent. I'm winning. You know what I'm saying? Me and my team, we together. We know what we doing. We got multi. And then on heels of all of that, it's like, no, I feel like I'm here now. Like I'm in these circles and I'm around a lot of the OGs and the legends that looking at me and they like, nah, youngin, you doing your thing too. Like now you where you need to be. And then to even be around a Rico Love, him like, man, you're doing your supporters a disservice by not going even farther with your music. Like, yeah, underground is cool. You've been there. Like people know you can rap, but where else can you take your music sonically? What else can you say? Who all else can you work with? And I think K.R.I.T is here just as me really showing people like, man, I've been around, I've been doing this. If you was unaware, in the corner, not paying attention, like, nah, look at my catalog, look at the people that I've worked with, then look at the people I'm working with now, and I deserve to be on this field, and I'm on this field, and I'm playing, I'm still hitting these home runs. I'm still sharp. I still got it. Oh, trust me, that ain't never.
There was a line on Family Matters that caught my attention. You said you 300 songs, 10 hours, and you still got the glow.
Yes.
So what keeps you motivated and inspired?
I would say the people, man. The people, and then knowing that I haven't said enough yet. I still have a lot more to say. Every day something happens in the world, or I have a conversation with somebody that I've never met before, and it inspires me to write. It inspires me to talk about whatever that particular topic was. And then when you talk about the way production is now and some of the producers I have the opportunity to work with, it just becomes this grand scheme, this grand thing. It's just this food with love, but it's for your soul. You know what I'm saying? And so for me, it's like I don't feel like I ever could stop, or even if I wasn't rapping, I'd figure out a way to be able to give people that same feeling musically.
And this album features mostly outside production, right?
Definitely. I only produced one record on this album.
I don't believe you. I don't believe you, Craig. Come on, man.
One, Blue Flame Ballet. You know what I'm saying?
Blue
Flame Ballet is the only one I produced.
Must have been personal.
I needed it. Me and Dutch, I mean, it was one of those situations. It was like, man, but I was like, I gotta have that one. And so Blue Flame Ballet was the one I was able to just get kind of funky with it. Like I'm a big fan of funk, Parliament, and all that, and that sound and that feel, and I was able to do that with
people
that
that don't
record.
know what the Blue Flame is. We're in Atlanta right now.
The
Can you
legendary.
explain the significance of the Blue Flame?
The legendary Blue Flame is a famous strip club that I've rapped about a number of times.
Why do you keep going back to that, brother?
I mean, customer.
Yeah, I mean, it's just I can appreciate the talent that goes into what these women are able to do. It is amazing.
Yes.
It's like Olympics a lot of the time. So I'm like, I've never seen anything of that nature. And I feel like doing a song that you wouldn't necessarily hear. And then the vibe, and I was able to have this amazing singer named Ro sing on it to give this operatic feel. And I feel like I was able to bring a tad bit of theater to the idea of being in the strip club or Blue Flame Ballet.
Are you doing a whole video too?
I plan on it, but I don't know where we're going to be able to show that video because I still want it to be nostalgic to what strip clubs are like. But yeah, just my spin on it.
But why outside production? You usually do things on your own.
So shout out to Rico Love. I had the opportunity to go to his music conference. I want to say it was like 2 years ago. And Rico, once again, we was on a panel, and Rico kind of challenged me. Like, yo, man, get in the studio with me. Let's work on your next album. I want to see what we can come up with. I'd already been working on the album at the time, but knowing that, I knew I was going to have an opportunity to work with other producers I might not have been aware of. Then it was like, yo, Danger, legendary Danger, want to work with you too.
Yeah.
So getting in with Danger put me in a position where it's like, he's playing these beats, and I'm like, mind blown. I'm like, yo, hold up. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But then for me, it's like, now I got to elevate the way that I think about approaching a record. Instead of just, all right, I got these 8 bars, these 12 bars, let's do it. It's like, now I want to approach the way I rap rap as more of an instrument? How do I complement the sonics of this, the drum cadences, the patterns, switch it up all the way? And then with that came with just wanting to work with other producers from the jump. Then you got DJ Camper, you got Wolf the Michaels, you got Don Corleone, you know, God forbid if I'm missing somebody else, but you know, it's just a lot going on. But yeah, man, working with these other people, it gave me this landscape of production. Like, man, I would have never made that for myself. And then as the writer, I'm like, I'm getting this corner and get it right. And then it's a collective effort because all of them are on a level where if they feel like I could have went a little harder, I could have said something a little doper, then they're gonna be like, yo, bro, you can
cut the verse again.
Yeah.
What was the most challenging one in that way? Like, what stood out to you that you was proud of? Like, you took the beat and like you really made it your own.
The most challenging one? Oh man. Addiction was interesting.
Okay.
Because of when we did it.
Well,
Addiction, it was like, so Wayne and Sweetie, thank God they was able to jump on the record kind of near the end of the finalization of the album. I did the record in LA months before we decided to use it. So it was probably like 3 o'clock in the morning. Dutch had let me, I'm just rapping. I'm just going through records and beats. And Dutch was like, well, Rico's like, bro, I got this record from Don Corleone, bro. We need to work on this. I'm tired. But everybody else is dumb awake. Like, everybody like, let's just do it. Right. And so it was just kind of fighting through my natural thing is like, you know what? I just want to go to the hotel. I come back to it later and like trying to feed off the energy and then seeing how far I could go with trying to make something that I knew was like, this is a little out of my comfort zone with the time and the tempo, but how can I be me? How can I kick this cadence? And then Rico came over with the concept hook-wise, and then, Yeah, man.
So it seemed like Rico Loves was a key component.
Oh, definitely, man. Definitely, because again, he gonna go in there, he gonna be like, bro, we try and make the big, like we need to make big records, bro. Like, we need to make big records. Look, and rap. It's not like just dumb it down. Like, it's like rap, you know, and the record like Obvious shows that, because the second verse, like, I don't care if you learn it or not. It's about me being as intricate as I possibly can, telling a story that meant something to me. Right. So, yeah.
Is it fair to say that this album is a sequel to K.R.I.T was here?
I don't know, man. It's hard to say. I think I remember when I did K.R.I.T was here, for me, it was like a last hurrah. It was like, man, I have 20-something records, and it's some West Coast, some East Coast, some got the New Orleans bounce, some is Mississippi country, you know. Right. And I was like, I'm gonna give people everything because I need them. If this is my last chance, then I gotta let them know I can rap and I can do this. Yeah. I think K.R.I.T is here is like that, me coming back to like, you know what? I can rap on any kind of record. I'm capable of singing. I'm capable of changing my cadences more. There's juxtapositions in the flow. Like it's ways to do it different and showcasing that almost kind of like how I feel like I did on K.R.I.T was here. Just showcase I can rap with anybody or on any kind of sound wave.
You did really good with that J. Cole guy, man.
Hey, shout out to the homie. Yeah.
Was that your first time? Because you know he did something with K.R.I.T before, but this your first time working with him like on your own individual songs?
Definitely, I would say that, yeah.
What took so long, man?
I mean, I think for me, it's timing is everything, bro. I believe even the kind of record it is, it made sense for it to be now. Even where he's at in his life and where I'm at creatively as well. Because, you know, normally you want the radio record, right? You're trying to make a certain record and you trying to, you know, and I think the timing now isn't about that, more or less. Like, how can we make something powerful, something that will kind of help people or help them understand a certain topic that they might be going through. And shout out to Wolf the Michaels because he produced the record. He's also on the hook. Yeah. And then I had the record and I just knew Cole was like the perfect person.
Why do you think Cole connected to that joint in particular to prove it?
Man, because I think he can understand even in what we not only do with the society and maybe the risks that he's taking as an artist in order to like just voice his opinion no matter what people say and having to take that backlash and come out from it. But you want to protect not only your integrity but your family and your friends around you, and you want people to know like this is what I believe in, and I believe in it strongly enough that I'm willing to risk my career on it. And if you hear his verse compared to mine, it's for me it kind of brings it all full circle. Because me, I'm like, all right, in these streets, things are going crazy. There's a lot going on in this world. If it's me and my family, I got to do what I got to do to take care of mine, right? To make sure we all get home. Him is the proven perspective of if you believe in me as an individual and a person and what I bring to the table, then show me some love and support. I don't necessarily know the woman he was talking about, but now I know her. I know Felicia. Now I know her. Now I'm like, really man, that's
and your record makes you feel like you know her.
Exactly. And so I'm pretty sure like when it comes to us as artists and how we interact with the people that we see and meet that supported us, I wouldn't be in the situation I'm in if people didn't listen to my music and didn't want to see me perform and didn't believe in what I was doing. And so I think more artists probably should take like a page out of it. Like,
and it's hard sometimes, I think, for artists to truly appreciate some of the loyal fans because you always want your audience to be bigger, right? Like, you always want for the bigger things. So sometimes you can't lose sight of like the foundation of certain there's certain fans, I'm sure, with you that you know that they've been around with you from the beginning.
Shows like the shows turn into family barbecues. Like literally, it's like I've seen people and they were just friends at one point. Then they end up becoming couples at a show.
Wow.
Then they get married. Then they have kids. And now I'm like
crib.
dapping them up. I'm like dapping them up, and I'm like, how the baby doing? You know what I'm saying? But that kind of connection is a connection that you can't run from in this industry. You know, that's the connection that as we move around and we meet people, we create a bigger family. Yeah, and so you have to remember that when you go in the studio and you decide to write some of these songs, or when you decide to interact with new people, because they're part of the family too. They might not have been there in the beginning, but they're gonna run into that same person at the show. Like, oh, you didn't know about this? I just touched down record that he did. Let me tell you about this. You know what I'm saying?
Or that show in that city.
Yeah, man, definitely.
It's that connection, like how you said Felton put.
Yeah, he put me on.
It's a lot of connections on that song.
Felton from Dreamville put him on to Colon to K.R.I.T.
Right.
Yeah, and then he put him on the dot.
Right.
A connection. You mentioned family. Amazing content piece you did, or you got to have a conversation with your father on camera.
Yeah.
What inspired that to do that?
Oh man, I think for me, people like, especially my team, right? So we have conversations, and Dutch, Steve-O, very big on me doing things that, like, when I'm having conversations, like, man, if that's how you feel, let's do one of those. Let's do something like that. And so they know the bond that I have with my father, and him being the person that listens to every record I put out, even the verses that sometimes, like, Pops, how did you hear that?
Wow.
It's like, man, I don't know, but it's jamming. You know what I'm saying? And just being very aware of what I got going on in my career. And so they feel like it would be really great for me to have a sit down with my pops and just kind of hash out a lot of the emotional things that I may have went through in the beginning of my career, what he was able to see, and the competitive spirit he gave me and how it helped. And then it started to hurt me later on in my career. And then diving into that, because I think people not only need to hear that conversation, just me and him, like father and son, but just for all the other artists that feel like they haven't made whoever in their life proud, and really they have, and they just need them to say, yo, you got it, you good.
Yeah.
So yeah.
You still call him before you go on an airplane?
What now? What'd you say?
Oh, the forever is a mighty long time. You talk about how drinking
definitely.
sessions. You say you call him before.
I call around though. I call around. Yeah, I make phone calls before I get on flights, just because it makes me comfortable. And even if he got to go to work in the morning, I'm not tripping. He got that call like, hey man, I'm on the way. I'm going down the road to LA. Just want to let you know.
Yeah, going back to your competitive spirit, because you've always been like making declarations and always feeling like, you know, you may not be getting the due that you deserve. Yeah. You said you've gone through a transition where now you have the ability to cheer other people on.
Definitely.
And notice, like, talk about that transformation and how tough that was.
Man, I think it's when you get to a point where you just want the accolades. You see what other people are getting, and you feel like you might deserve that same thing. Yeah. I came to a realization for myself that even if I got that stuff, it probably wouldn't make me happy. A lot of the things around me and the fact that I was able to help my family make the music that I wanted to make, be like literally hang out with the people that I never thought I'd hang out with, have conversations with Bun B just about life. And it's like, man, look, I'm good. Like, this is great. Like, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. And from that point, it came to doing the album Forever's a Mighty Long Time, and just totally just doing whatever I wanted to do. Doing a double album, whatever. We ain't with the label. It's like, hey, we're going to drop 22 songs. Why not? You know? At some point, it just didn't matter. We're humans. And I started like them, like, man, I don't know what it feels like to go through that. Yeah. But just know, bro, if you need to hit me up, man, you need to go get a steak or something. Yeah. Chill, you can, you know. And once I got to that point, it made it so much easier. Like, I'm like, man, oh, that verse hard. Oh, that track crazy. Like,
to other people.
And to other people. And I think it might have been a shocker to some people, because I'm hitting them like, hey, bro, let's work sometimes. Because they thought, you know, I'm under a rock. I'm like, to myself, but really it's like, nah, man, I always wanted to work. I think I just was afraid of the no. Or like, if I do get the no, then I'm like, they ain't rocking with me. Yeah, that I had to let go of that.
Right. Yeah. You had that line on every time, talk about being in competition, like
with myself.
Competition with yourself.
Said if I compete with me, there's no second place.
Yeah. So when did that become apparent to you? Because like you are a competitive artist.
Oh man, because it got to a point after Forever's a Mighty Long Time, I guess, that people started to look at, if somebody gave me an opinion, it was based off of the record I dropped before that. It was based off the freestyle I dropped before that. It was based off 12 for 12. It was like, oh, but Return of Forever still my joint, you know what I'm saying? And so it wasn't them actually looking at me like, man, but yo don't sound like, you know, they were always going back to the records I put out. And so at that point I was like, oh, no, I'm tripping. Like, I've carved out a space for myself. Yeah. I can't be like the homie. I can't be like this artist. It's me. And then once I focus on that, it's like, I'm good. Like, I just got to keep being solid, just keep testing myself, not only lyrically, but just visually. Like, even the visuals now, everything has to feel different. And then now, it's almost like since I let that guard down, it's so many other people that came aboard that started like By Child. She literally did the videos and she probably gonna do all of them, but she killing them. Like
She did K.R.I.T.
she did K.R.I.T. and Energy, and
Cool.
it's like. But it's like just being that free to let people like, yeah, man, you seen me come up. What you think I should do? Like, how you feel about my visuals now? And you know,
The K.R.I.T. is a very provocative visual.
I like that one. Plantation Records.
Yeah. Oh man. Hey man.
2010.
Look, you got to put that medicine in the good food, man. I ain't
Talk
gonna
about
front.
that scene, like for people that haven't seen the video, like all of a sudden, I think I'm watching a rap video.
That scene was
He's an
rough.
underrated underground rapper. He's a lyricist and he's country.
That was a rough scene to shoot. Mind you, that we didn't get it right the first time, so he had to do that a few times. And they need different shots of it, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
And so he's like literally saying it over and over again, and then every time he had a cut, he'd be like, "Hey man, I just want you to know, I don't think and feel anything like this at all, at all." And then the child at one
do the
point was
slavery
like,
thing, man.
I'm up there saying, child was like, "Yo, touch his hair," like during this thing, touch his hair.
Right.
And I'm
Oh,
like,
yeah.
"Oh God." And then the dude was like, "Hey man, I just want you to know I do not feel comfortable even touching your hair. Just want to let you know." But I think it's important that we do push the limits and boundaries just a little bit. I'm pretty sure with some people or maybe some artists or some rappers that might have been uncomfortable seeing that particular scene. But it's important to know, like, man, when you get these deals and stuff, that you want to make sure your paperwork in order. You want to make sure you're actually presenting who you are as an individual, because once you either get older or you're not the primary source of income from them, things might change. You know, and so thank God streaming came. They didn't know what I was capable of doing. I was able to get off a little bit easier than some artists do. And so I can celebrate. That's why I do the Deacon spin in the video, and you know, it's like that spin is celebration. That smile is real, you know.
Was it like stemming from real life situation with Def Jam?
I would say so. I mean, from the perspective of just being the kind of artist where you're in a position where you don't, if you're trying to get your point across, you're trying to create music from a certain perspective and place, and if they don't really believe in it, then is this really gonna go out? Or if it does go out, is it gonna go out the way that I need it to? Does anybody really care about what I'm doing in the building? And the
Are they
people that
connected to it?
Are they connected to it at all? And if they do care, then how much? Or is it something else gonna come sweep me through? But I'm locked into this position where I can't really go anywhere. I can't really do anything, and then you know, so it's. I mean, it's one of those things where as an artist, you obviously want to be signed. You want to, you know, go to that next level. I've seen that all my life, documentaries. And I'm like, yo, I mean, and it's not for everybody. Some people have made it work for themselves. Maybe they figured it out. Me, on the other hand, I'm telling my story. Didn't necessarily work for me, but I learned a lot from it to the point where I can have a multi, and I know how to partner now. Big K.R.I.T. will never be signed directly. Like, you got to partner with me. I got my whole machine. I got my own mothership. You know, so yeah.
So you think at this point you found closure with that situation?
Yeah, I say so. Definitely. Nah, man, look, it was a learning lesson. I think I needed to learn that in order to appreciate what I got going on now and to move forward as a businessman.
You mentioned the 12 freestyles. I remember on the Flying Lotus one, you said you put up the bullshit to put on for the South.
Yeah.
Like, what was the stuff that you had to put up with?
I mean, look, man, you go do an interview and people are like, "Hey, bro, how I feel to see buildings?" And I'm like, "Man, we got buildings, bro. We got buildings, man. Like, man,
Mississippi.
Bro, like the horseback, man. Y'all be on horseback? No, we don't. Like, we was riding in cars, mostly old schools. We like old schools. But it was just a misconception of being from where I'm from and what that interview might turn into. Or you're talking to somebody and they sit down and they say things like, "Man, we didn't expect you to talk like that." So it's like, it's not even, it's more about being misinformed than anything. So I can't really, if you've never been there before, you wouldn't know. Right. So there was two ways I could have really took that ideas. I could have, but two ways I normally did. Either I get frustrated about it, and then now I'm like, let me rap about this. Let me take you there.
Yeah.
Or I'm like gonna sit down and explain it. You know, man, just come down sometime, see how we move. It's just dealing with that and like becoming bitter at times. I feel like I had all this pressure to prove that South ain't like that. We ain't like that.
Yeah.
You know?
I'm a lyricist.
Yeah,
too. Like,
we got it. Like,
take me
you got to
seriously,
come down there. Like, don't pay attention to what's in the movies and all that stuff. And so I dealt with that a lot in my career. And on Live from the Underground, you know what you Live from the Underground. Yeah, Live from the Underground.
I've heard about it.
Yeah.
Bad reviews.
Oh my God.
Did we give it a bad review?
Yeah, you
The rap
definitely,
radar,
definitely did. Yes, she did.
It's one of Chris' favorite
top
topics.
10. Top 10.
Worst of the year.
Worst of the year. Gave it to- I made number
You
4.
demand a recount. We
I was
demand a
on number
recount.
I was number 4,
Awkward.
but see, that was upon working on that album. I will say there was a part of me that was aggressive, and I wanted people to understand and get it. Instead of taking you there, I was forcing you to come there.
Yeah.
And
You made a statement when you go back and listen to stuff. You said you could hear the anger and the anxiety.
I like those
in
records.
your music.
I like Chip on the Shoulder K.R.I.T. records, man.
I mean, I know, but look, but I
Mount
want
Olympus.
No, but not with anxiety though.
Yeah,
That's the thing,
I'm talking about like I'm talking about. He talking about okay, we got one more day to record this. You gotta get this right, and you could tell. I'm like, man, I might have could have said that word a little bit better. But even with that, it was like I was dealing with sample clears and stuff. That's a long story. But when it comes to that album, I could tell that I was frustrated because I feel like they don't get it. The people aren't gonna get it. Like I gotta show them. And it shows. But over time, K.R.I.T was like, man, I'm okay. Like it's good. This the next hurrah. Let's do this different. And it just kept going from there.
What are you hearing in the music now? Like what feelings you get when you listen back on this new album? Like in terms of your mind state or temperament, like is there certain emotions that you feel like overall?
Oh, it's freedom. It's freedom there. It's a confidence that I think I didn't have as much back in the day as far as what I wanted to say verbally or a punchline here or there or doing a record and not having punchlines at all. You know, just feeling like I'm going to get straight to the point on this.
Yeah.
Even from a hook writing standpoint or a singing standpoint, it's all more like this is exactly what I wanted to say. This is how I wanted to say it. And some people might get it, some people won't. But this is how I wanted to convey my art. Yeah. And it wasn't like back in the day. It was like again, I know I'm attached to the South, and so I got to do this certain sound, and people expecting this. This album was more like I really want to see how far I can be creative. The soundboard is whatever, and then just applying.
Checked all those boxes.
Just applying my best effort to it.
What was the whole rollout plan? Because like you snuck up like the end of last year. You did 3 like different EPs.
Yeah,
like,
TDT.
Can you break that whole
TDT.
rollout of how what your mind state was? How you started the situation?
Yeah.
Leading to the album?
Well, TDT was the beginning of me working with Rico Love and Danger in Miami. And so it wasn't like we wanted to come directly out of Forever's a Mighty Long Time and then drop an album. So it was like trying to do an EP, kind of test the waters. And this is also around the time that Steve-O and Dutch were very like, hey man, let's just create, not necessarily make it attached to all your previous works, because I've been telling this story for a few years from K.R.I.T up to now. Yeah. So like, no, I mean, let's just do something that's a little freer. Yeah. And so that's when you get the record energy, you get the record higher, or you get Learn from Texas and pick yourself up, because it's me just like, man, we in the studio, like, let's make 15 songs, and oh man, these ones we're gonna choose. They jamming, let's do it, kind of thing. And then it caught. Energy caught for real. And so it's like, okay, the freedom that I had making this EP is the same way I need to go into this album, where I'm not trying to like put this together with this, and I'm like telling this, and then sometimes I'm like, oh, well, this doesn't fit unless it's like nah, man, just be free creatively, and then see what comes out of it. To the point where I recorded a lot of music for this album. It was definitely a collective effort as far as my team, with everybody like, man, bro, let's just try this different. Or maybe work with this producer, or work with this artist, because it was important that I got out of my comfort zone to the maximum. And yeah, man, it shows sonically, even how some records like Outer Space still fit right there with a record like Life in the Sun. But then K.R.I.T here got the energy and the bounce just the same as the record Made Off do, but it's different. It's different feels, different cadences. And yeah, man, and still 808 and bassing at the same time.
Yeah, I feel like you had that confidence on Pick Yourself Up. Like that's so motivational for me.
Definitely,
like, it could have made the cut.
Oh man, no, I mean so.
How did you decide?
It was a difficult process of what to put on the album. First off, I mean, look, man, it was a lot. It's a lot of songs that didn't come out, and Lord willing, they still got their time, at some point. But it was literally like all of us sitting in a room, going over probably 54 or 60, maybe 60 records.
Wow.
Nailing it down to probably like 22, listening to those over again, getting to 18, nailing it down to 15. We was in there from 3 to like 9
You believe in doing a full body of work when it comes to your albums.
I mean, we got to.
You don't do the 9-song thing or 7-song thing.
No, I want you to, I mean, but I also make music for your car. And most people spend more time in their car than they do anywhere other than sleep. So for me, it's like, if you can get to point A to point B, no, this album gonna get you it. And I've traveled enough with it now to know.
Yeah. The 2 previously released tracks that made the cut were Energy and Learn from Texas. Why those 2 songs you think survived?
Well, I would say Energy because we dropped the video and it just went to a whole nother level. It already had the numbers and the excitement that we'd seen and people posting it on social media, which is also a healthy way of gaining how many people are interacting with the song. And so that was a no-brainer. And then just from the sports era, like, and how I feel about performing that particular record. Learn from Texas is I have this thing where I not only do I have to always do a due to Texas or how much knowledge I've gained like musically and culturally from Texas, but again we saw how people were really relating to the Learn from Texas aspect in the song. Yeah. And so that does not mean that Pick Yourself Up won't get performed now.
Yeah, okay.
Hold on.
Okay.
Now, so I'm just going to let you know. That does not mean I'm not going to tell you
Love from the South tour coming soon. Love from the South tour.
And unlike the last album, if people came to that tour, I did literally that whole album. This tour is going to be a tad bit different.
Okay.
So don't
get some K.R.I.T classics.
Yeah, don't get it twisted.
Don't get
you know
mad.
what I'm saying? But those two records, I think, is what not only sonically made sense in the flow of it, and we just saw a different kind of response to him as well.
Yeah. Why is it always important to pay homage to Texas? You're from Mississippi.
Man, because Mississippi and Texas on an underground music level, they like sister and brother. It's one of those, they family. You know what I'm saying? With you blow up, you stay there, and you just keep hitting your market.
Yeah.
And then again, UGK were one of the first. It was like the first group I saw that they were from a country town like mine, like Port Arthur's, like super small, and they were able to do what they did. It was an unapologetically country thing happening while they were making the music. To maybe some people didn't understand what they were culturally talking about, but I totally got it, and it made me proud to be like, hey, I'm country. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like
you embrace that.
Yeah, and so for me, it's just paying homage, and then you talking about Slim Thug, you talking about ESG, you talking about the Ghetto Boys, you know what I'm saying? R.I.P. Bushwick. You talking about Paul Wall, Chameleon there, you know what I'm saying? Like, oh Lord, don't forget some names. You know, Screw, you know what I'm saying? Bellway 8, you know, Botany Boys, like SUC.
Create
you
good in Texas, baby.
You know what I'm saying? Look at Dutch over there, Ace High, Mo City, you know what I'm saying? Mo Nell, you know.
But what's it like to
and I'm forgetting some people, I'm so sorry, man. Shout out to
Can't forget
Callie
Zero.
on, you know what I'm saying? Okay, yeah, Zero. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Killer, you know, my bad. Wolf the Michaels from H-Time.
But what's
too,
it like being such a fan of all that and a big UGK fan and then really becoming true friends with Bun B?
It's crazy. That's like to be able
working
to
with him, with people that don't know you produce a lot of music with him.
Yeah, I co-executive produced his last album, Trill OG. I mean Return of Trill, I'm sorry. And then just being able to have him on country shit, you know what I'm saying? Being able to have a multitude of other records with him, and then at the same time I can call him and be like, OG, I'm going through some, you know, just what you think I should do? You know, this is giving me some anxiety. How you think I should move on this? And him like really hit me with some like, well, this is how I dealt with it when I was going through that in the industry. And it's crazy. It's really crazy though.
Yeah. What's something about Bun B that we don't know that would probably surprise people?
Man, well, this ain't gonna be a surprise. But maybe some people don't know. Bun will have a full blown conversation with you and write his verse at the same time, which makes me wonder if he was really listening to you.
But he's using a conversation for the content.
Could he be? But I don't know, because we've done some records where I'm pretty sure I did not like. I'm pretty sure what we was talking about did not help with his writing. You know what I'm saying? We talking about Gumball, and then he writes a super lyrical record about being like UGK Trio King. Like, there's no way that the Gumball conversation up there.
Yeah.
And you know, so I don't know, but and then OG maybe 15 minutes to write a verse. You pushing it on that.
Yeah.
Like one of the one take
And
kings.
don't be trying to break into his house and do no nonsense. Man. We don't play that out here,
No,
man.
but see, I'm talking about, but then that's just one song out of the 6 songs they're doing a day.
Oh, okay.
Like he one on one, like, play the next beat. Like, what we doing? What we working on?
Oh, he just got to knock
He's
him
still
out.
on it, He on it, so yeah. Mm-hmm.
You mentioned people that you pay homage to. I noticed on Believe, you know, you kind of tipped your hat to Nip.
Yeah.
And, you know, you say you can't believe what happened. No one can, you know.
Yeah.
How has his passing affected you? I know you said you took a break on social media to process everything.
Man, so the Believe record, we literally sent off and reached out to Nip to jump on.
Oh,
I
wow.
had seen Nip at an event in Atlanta not too long ago. Well, it was probably like a month before that. And I was still working on the album at the time. And I'm going to Miami with Danger and them, and we do that song. And he was like, who can we get on this? And then Dutch also has had a relationship, you know, years ago with Nip, and I knew him when I first signed the Cinematic Music Group.
Yeah.
Because he was there.
It's Johnny, yeah.
Yeah, and you know, reached out like, man, you know, you'd be perfect for this kind of thing. Bruh, I was playing that record for somebody that morning and then found out that it happened. And so it's one of those things where it's like I social media is what it is. I'm like, I'm one of those people when things like that happen, especially the people I know, like they out here trying to do something positive, and for that to happen to the homie, I kind of just fell back. You know, I wasn't recording, wasn't making no music, and then you got the whole thing where you trying to figure out, weeks down the road, like, man, are we putting this on the album or not? Are we putting anybody else on this song? And I'm like, I don't think so. Like, I really can't. I don't see how we could. And then trying to figure out a way to pay homage to the homie with that. I don't know, man. That was rough, dog. You know what I'm saying? Because you see the positivity and you see where it was like where the homie was going with it, and then how people were responding to it, and then you see, excuse my French, the fuck shit happen, right? And yeah, dog. Yeah. I'm sorry. Yeah.
No, it's tough. It's tough. But glad you. But that's part of it. That record had to make the cut. What's the overall statement in that record when you say believe?
Man, because you just want to believe that everything gonna be okay.
Yeah.
You just want to, and the beginning of the verse sounds and starts off more aggressive from how I believed in the beginning of my career, that all it took was a few records and then I get signed and I get on. And it turns into a longer bout than that. And then when you finally get on, you want to help everybody, but then your bout is a tad bit more sporadic now. It's like more things that you have to pay attention to. And then when you get to the second verse, it's just believing that people want to see you do well. People want to see you healthy. The things that you are taking in your mind and your body and soul were really supposed to be there to help you. And then tragedy strikes, or things don't work out the way you want them to. And it's just an overall thing about life, and I was trying to sum it up the best I possibly can.
Yeah, and you say yourself, you've gone through therapy and
definitely
dealt with bouts of depression and things like that.
And mentioning that in that song is important too. And it's sprinkles of it in other records. I think Outer Space is the record where I kind of talk about just wanting to not be around people, to kind of want to be off on my own and by myself, but then trying to find a more creative way. And then drinking sessions. Drinking
sessions, I love that.
Drinking sessions is straight on, right?
Yeah.
And people know I can go there. Yeah. But then how can I change the dynamic a little bit sonically for a person that may not be as aware of their anxiety or aware of they go through depression? They might hear that song and be like, man, I sometimes ride around in my car too, like I don't want to be bothered.
Right.
Yeah.
Or I sometimes just fall back, like, and it's just trying to create that soundscape too, to make it more worldly and still about me at the same time.
Yeah. It reminded me drinking sessions of the Nas record, Drunk by Myself, of the Lost Tapes. It gave me that same feel.
Yeah.
It's like sometimes you don't feel like talking to people. You just want to be cut off from the world.
Yeah. And so that's a great thing, and sometimes it's not.
When did you decide to make? Because I remember we used to get down to be drinking whiskey.
Oh,
you
yes.
You made some big changes. Like,
what
was that process like changing, like health-wise, like eating better?
I mean, eating better is one thing. It's hard to go to the gym in the morning. If you're talking about the hangovers you can have, literally you get older. Your body's dealing with it differently. Yeah. The days go by a little different. Hangovers last longer. Then you find out this very valuable thing, especially if you go to therapy, that hangovers encourage irrational behavior, thought processing. So a lot of the times when people aren't dealing with their emotions and they hit their vice hard, they wake up the next morning and still can't quite grasp what's going on, and normally they make irrational decisions. It could be a phone call, it could be a text message, because you're not hydrated, right? And so it's very important that I kind of dialed it back, especially on writing this album. There was days where it was just a shot of coffee. You know what I'm saying? Like, hey man, I just need to stay awake. This coffee, it's gonna help me write this verse instead of a shot of some brown.
Right.
You know? Yeah. But yeah, we used to get down back in the day. That was cool. We used to be, but I also weighed a whole lot more back then too. You know what I'm saying?
So Helmet Lang's fitting better.
Yeah, it's fitting better. You know what I'm saying? This a large.
Is that the reason why you grew out the hair too?
No, that was just to prove I could still do it.
Oh, okay.
I think if you can still grow your hair out,
let it roll.
Do it. You know what I'm saying? And so, yeah, I decided to do it, and I'm going to keep letting it grow until something go bad.
Okay. Those are some Samson shit.
Yeah, and I want to say this on behalf of my father. My father had long hair, too. He is not balding through natural causes. My dad had a Jerry curl and some more stuff. And even back in the day, the S curl was super cool.
Yeah.
But that do something to you. You know what I'm saying? But other than that, he would definitely have the hair I got. Just want to shout you out, Pops. It's not your fault. You know what I'm saying?
Did your pops want to make music? Was that his dream?
No, my pops wanted to be a baseball player.
Okay. I followed that too.
Yeah, I played baseball because of my pops, and then he went to school to be an X-ray technician, and then couldn't finish because he had to take care of us as kids.
Why did he feel so qualified to really be critiquing your music and know what's good or bad?
Because he was gonna be honest with me. Yeah. I mean, at the end of the day, him and my Uncle Jerry probably the two most honest people I know. And the minute I play something, they would immediately be like, "That's trash." Jay,
you need people like that.
Jay, maybe you need to do something else. Now, mind you, I'm making the beats in the kitchen.
This is just production, like rocking out beats.
I'm just making beats. It's in the kitchen, and the kitchen is like, the den and the kitchen is together. So they either watching TV, sports, playing the game. I'm making everything in my headphones. I cannot wait to unplug the jack so I can let everybody here in the house when I'm playing. Sure enough. No, that's just terrible. You know what I'm saying? And then
would they let 30 seconds play? Like how long would they have to before
they gonna let me ride. I can play 3 minutes because I'm putting breakdowns. You got breakdowns in it. You know what I'm saying?
They hear the whole piece.
Yeah, they hearing what you got going on, and then it's like, that's terrible. You know, but then it went from being that's terrible. And it's like, okay, you know what I'm saying? Like, oh, you did that, and then it went from there like, put that on CD for me. You know what I'm saying? And then it just kind of kept going. Then I started putting my words on top of it, and then it became, it's like, oh, snap. Like, then I go sample a song that they remember, Isley Brothers, Between the Sheets, and now I got them, you know what I'm saying?
Did you take it personal, though?
Yes, of course.
Pick yourself up, boy.
Yeah, I mean, but back then, it's almost like if you're playing a video game against your older brother and he beats you, you're not necessarily going to stop playing the game. You're just you're going to play when he ain't playing. You're going to get better at it while he outside. Then he gonna come play you one day, and that low kick on Mortal Kombat gonna kill him. You know what I'm saying? He don't know how you did it, but you beat him. And so for me, it was like I had to somehow get the approval of get them to the point where they liked it. And I think that was the beginning of me wanting to prove myself. And it was healthy, and it became something that kind of hurt me let off.
Yeah. What did he think about doing the whole conversation thing? What's been his feedback?
Man, he hit me because he went to the Mississippi picnic. You know what I'm saying? He's like, hey, Jay. He's like, man, everybody was asking me about the interview. You know what I'm saying? They said I look real calm, real collected. You know what I'm saying? Everybody liked it. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's all like, you're getting his shine, and which is great. And then for him to be the kind of father where a lot of people know that he was definitely pushing me not only on the baseball field, but even musically throughout. Was like, it meant a lot to him.
Would you have a conversation like that with your mom?
Of course.
Oh, okay.
Of course, but we're going to have a totally different conversation. A whole hour, my mother's liable to tell y'all about my birth. And then it's like, it's going to be like my birth and what I used to do as a kid. It's going to be like, before we know it, it's like my mom, we're going to have some music questions. Like, no, I got to tell them about this picture you took. It's going to be that dynamic. But no, Mom Deuce would definitely be something I'd be willing to have too.
Because on the last song, Mississippi, you said she became a teacher now.
Yeah, my mom's a 3rd grade teacher. Okay. I literally went and just this Mother's Day, I went down and I was going to see her and I was going to holler at a 3rd grade class. And I ended up meeting the whole school. Right, and it was just like take pictures with everybody, sign autographs, and kick it, and it was crazy because I remember to some degree being that young, and it was exciting for me to see how excited they were, and a lot of kids kept asking me if my shoes Balenciagas, and I was just confused. I was like, "You 3rd grade? Like, how do you know?" And they like
pronouncing it proper.
They like, "You know the Migos?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I know the Migos." Balenciaga. I'm like, "No, they Fendi." But yeah, you know what I'm saying. But it was important for me to do that, man, and I'm excited for what my mom's doing because she's always been like math genius on the low, but then as far as teaching us in school books and stuff, so it's a passion. So.
Right. Absolutely. And you mentioned Mississippi, Elliot. I think about the other record. You have skits and interludes. Like, who are those guys?
Man, Carlos Miller and Chico Bean, man.
Okay. Oh, that's them. Okay.
Yo. Oh man, that is a whole nother conversation. Them boys so hilarious, bro. And we had so much more content, but we had to figure out how to narrow it down.
Yeah.
But the idea of the album too, and a lot of the reason why they're talking as prestigious as they are, because to me, this is like high end country shit. You know what I'm saying? Right. You know what I'm saying? It's like me elevating the idea of what people think I either normally talk about or the way to do it, right? Which is another end of Blue Flame Ballet.
Right.
But once it was like, oh yeah, man, we doing high end country shit. That's when they end up doing. Well, they heard Mississippi, then they went in and did the skit, and then they were talking to each other about the horns and all this shit. I was like, yeah, high end country shit. We on one. So this like some tuxedo cufflink,
right?
You know what I'm saying? Kind of vibes,
highbrow, kind
straight
of
up. But it's swingers on the chariot. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And it's like old school steel part here. You know, it's like man.
So that was your idea to bring them in?
Carlos Miller reached out, and I wanted him to come listen to the album. And then I played a few records for him, but just because I'm a fan of them and what they doing, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
And he was like, yo, bro, I'm gonna bring Chico through too. And I'm like, bet, because I was like, yo, bro, I need to do a skit. And so they both get in there, and bro, the dynamic is ridiculous. They some freestyle kings,
right?
I tell you that.
So the spirit resonates through the music.
Yeah. the blacks, the older blacks. Like, it's crazy.
So whose idea was to do these murals all across America, man?
Man, I got to shout out to my team for that, man.
Okay.
Once again, man, Dutch, Steve-O, and just them putting and curating a wave of something other than me doing the music. We do the covers. Conceptually, I come up with how I want the album to flow and all that stuff, right? But this time, not only was I creatively had been working so much on the album and dealing with some things emotionally that I didn't necessarily focus as much on certain things. And then my team picked up the slack. And it became this thing where y'all was seeing stuff go up when I was seeing stuff go up. And I was like, it inspired me. You know what I'm saying? So I got to give a big shout out to my team for that. Yeah. They masterminded a lot of what you see now.
Right.
And then they told me they would when I was like, bro, I don't know if I can work on this album right now. I was like, bro, just work, do what you do, take your time, get it to us, and we gon'. And then, yeah.
Hey, so one more time about this tour. You said we're gonna get some of the classics mixed
in? I ain't gonna tell you all of them. You already know what you know, but you do know. I mean, but you can. Yes, woo, I'm ready, boy. I'm ready. It's gonna be so excited. Venues and got bigger, people excited. It's crazy. It's gonna be crazy. And
do you miss making beats now? I feel like you played off with the beats. We get everybody else production.
I mean, based on my productivity, I guess I don't. Like, I kind of like, I guess I like, man, play me what you got, player. You know what I'm saying?
You're in your rapper mode right now?
I'm in my rapper mode right now, but don't get it twisted, man. Shout out, I got to throw this out. Joel Ortiz got a single out right now that I produced. So that was like the last record I was able to produce, which is his single out right now, called Learn You. Yeah, so I'm still there, but I think I'm more like focused on the album, trying to figure out the tour aspect and what we're gonna do. And then, Lord willing, getting back into production, because I ain't gonna front, I learned a lot from working with the people I learned from. Like the way they produce, the energy is like, man, I know I got work to do.
But going this year, so how do you measure success now? Because if you don't put these like heavy expectations on yourself now, like what will satisfy you with this project?
Man, it's hard to say.
Yeah.
It's hard to say, because me, it's always been, especially now, man, it's almost going where it's already moving. I mean, Addiction featuring Wayne and Sweetie is doing, people are excited about it. Some of the venues are already, we done, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, man, I guess just excited to see what happens, like how people respond to the album, how the shows pan out, what the show look like, and the energy that comes with it. And yeah, man, it's been a little minute since I've been on tour, so I feel different. I feel better. Yeah.
What do you think it takes to survive in this business, man? We see writers go, rappers go.
Look to your left, look to your right.
I mean, what do you think the key is, like, for somebody maybe like already been in the game, but like may not be like their 4th or 5th year in the game, but may not see like the future, that they can still contribute to this culture and still have their place?
I mean, I think combining your hunger and your passion always will keep you afloat, because you're gonna find a way to, even when the game changes up, to kind of morph and find your spot in it. I still have the hunger that I had when I first came out. My passion is just the same equally. And making music and seeing how it can affect a room, how can it affect a subject, a topic, is still something that I'm very much interested in seeing always. And I see what goes on in the world. I see what happening in society. And if you're creative, then it don't matter how the game go. You're going to figure out a way to stay attached to your voice and how to get your words out there. At the end of the day, I only wanted people to hear what I had to say in the first place. So everything else is kind of a bonus, you know?
There was I forget what song it was, but you said something about a hit record. Don't ask me about a hit record. I forget which album was.
That was a freestyle.
It might have been a freestyle on the 12 for 12 joints.
Possibly.
Maybe.
Lord,
possibly.
Who knows?
But you say, don't ask me about a hit record, but nonetheless, the question I want to know is, like, does that still not affect you? Like,
I think and this is, maybe it's just the younger version of myself that still always wants to hear a song on the radio. It's nothing like it. I mean, because you just come from that. The idea of a hit has changed now. You don't have to hear it on the radio to know it took off, because you have streaming, you have different ways of virally going up. You know what I'm saying? Your song can become a hit record, and it's not even your video. Somebody else elevated it, right?
The fans chose that.
You know. So for me, it's just about finding that balance where I'm not just going for the gusto and losing who I am creatively, but people still know that champion me anyway, that know that I'm gonna try to take this movement as far as I possibly can. I'm gonna do my best to make sure they see me in the spot that they think I should be in, and then bring all my folk with me. Like that's the goal now. It's like Multi is bigger than me. And so how do I keep pushing that envelope so all the other artists that sign to Multi won't be put in a situation that I might have been put in as an artist?
What's the future of Multi?
Future multi is well, multi is bigger than just rap. I want to say that too. Like I feel like it's literally about being multi-talented, multi-purpose. You do more than one thing. So if you videographer, if you a muralist, if you're a painter, any kind of creative, I think multi should be able to kind of find that wave for you, find that home for you, to where you can match up with a producer that needs a cover. You can match up with an artist that needs, his merch done or design or jewelry or whatever we talking about, visuals. I think that's what multi should end up being. Yeah. But the first step is the music for me. That's the vehicle.
And the music's good, man.
Absolutely.
Positive reviews on
Let's
this
go.
one, man.
This one is hard.
Let's go.
No more negativity.
Okay, thank you.
Embrace positivity.
Let's embrace the positivity.
As you said.
Let's go. All right, now. And see, we ain't even in the old school. You ain't sweating. You know what I'm saying? It's cool, man.
What's your favorite record on the album?
Boy, that's hard to say.
Yeah, it is. I like energy a lot. I like the, no pun intended, energy of it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
What did you mean you said the world is killing me? Was that a tough time?
But that's just in general. That's all of us. I mean, that could be the foods you eat, the water you drink. That could be the police officer down the street. Don't mean to make all this rhyme. Maybe it's a lyricist. But but it could literally be visually what you're taking in, the messages you receive, the comments that people give you. It could be anything. And it's just finding that positive energy through the midst of it and trying to share it with people.
Right.
Obviously Mississippi is one of my favorites. For the people that heard it, I freestyled the whole verse, which is exciting.
Yeah. It's 5 minutes, man.
And I freestyled the whole verse, player.
Be clear.
That must have been a fun session.
Yeah, but see, it was the fluidity of it, because Danger played the record and it didn't have like the horns and everything yet. It was just real like bassline drums. And I was trying to write to it and I could not, because it would have been too to the grid. So I was like trying to be more sporadic, more like an instrument or jazz instrument. So it was like, man, I'm gonna just freestyle. Wow. And so, and then the acronym comes out of that, which is fun for me, because I got to be the first person to make an acronym out of Mississippi. And so, yeah, just to break it down, maybe I'm so Southern, I sometimes scare ignorant people's perception of independence.
Damn. How long it took you?
One more time.
Maybe I'm so Southern, I sometimes scare ignorant people's perception of independence.
Damn.
I just knew M.I. Crooked letter. That's all I do.
That's the remix.
Yes, I got one.
Word. But definitely love Energy, Prove It, because of Cole's verse is crazy. But the whole album is really dope.
I appreciate it, bro.
All right, crew. Appreciate you, brother.
Absolutely.
Talk soon.
I'm gonna dap y'all up.
Yeah.
Right here.
Yes, sir.
Crit here.
Yes, sir.
What's your name? Crit here.
Yeah, Rap Radar Podcast.
Yeah.